Hi, this is Melanie, aka Princess Ninja, aka the Keto Critic, and thank you for coming back. Today I'm going to be reviewing a coconut chicken recipe from the Carb Manager app. I'm going to be following the recipe to the letter, exactly the way they tell me to make it, and I'm going to be baking it in the oven, but there's a twist. I'm also going to be checking it out with almond flour, which is what they call for, but I'm also going to try some with coconut flour since it's coconut chicken. I love coconut, and what I'm aiming for is a coconutty flavor. These are very simple ingredients to make these. I have 1 pound of, these are Perdue chicken tenders. Carb Manager calls for finely sifted almond flour. Remember, I'm doing my own thing, so I'm going to use some coconut flour in the ones I put in my air fryer. I have some organic, unsweetened, shredded coconut, 1 egg. The Carb Manager app calls for olive oil, but I am going to be melting down some Dr. Bronner's coconut oil for mine. Remember, I'm after that coconutty taste. For seasonings, we have some simple seasonings, some Himalayan salt, some onion powder, some garlic powder, some pepper. We're going to start by heating up the oven to 375. So I'm going to take a baking pan and I'm going to line it with parchment paper. This is going to be for the tenderloins that are going to go into the oven following the Carb Manager recipe. Over here, of course, is my air fryer, and I'm just going to get that ready. Since I'm doing 2 different flavors and I'm using 2 different cooking techniques, I'm going to need 2 different containers to wash those tenders in. In the first one, I'm going to be doing the Carb Manager recipe using olive oil, and over here I'm going to melt a tablespoon of coconut oil. The recipe calls for 3/4 of a cup of unsweetened shredded coconut. Since I'm doing 2 separate recipes, I'm going to divide that. The recipe also calls for 6 tablespoons of almond flour, but since I want to try one with coconut flour to see how well they do, I'm going to divide that up. 3 tablespoons of almond flour in here and 3 tablespoons of coconut flour. Now that I've done that, I'm going to season them. The Carb Manager recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm guessing. So I've kind of created an assembly line, and with this last bowl here, I'm going to break 1 egg and whisk it up. So I'm just going to separate this package of chicken since it's a 1 pound package, and I'm going to do a 1/2 pound in each side. So there's going to be 4 strips that we're going to do for the Carb Manager recipe and 4 strips for my recipe. Okay, so here goes nothing. I'm going to start with the chicken in the olive oil. And I'm going to make sure that the olive oil has coated this chicken really well. In this bowl over here, I have the chicken in the coconut oil because I'm looking for that coconutty flavor. So I'm going to start with the tenders that are baked in the oven first. And I'm just going to give them a quick roll in this egg and a quick roll in the coconut and almond. Lay them on this parchment paper. Look at how nice and evenly coated those chicken strips are. So that is pretty big. Those tenderloins are a really nice size. I'm very happy with them. And I would say that 2 would be more than suitable for a main entree. So this definitely has 4 servings. Now it says to bake at 375 for 15 minutes. So I don't know that that's going to be enough time for this size tenderloin. I'm probably going to check it at 15 and leave it for 20. I'm now going to take my air fryer. This is a non-stick stick basket in here, so I'm not really worried about it. I'm gonna repeat the process I did with my other ingredients, only this has the shredded coconut and the coconut flour. I'm gonna lay them evenly across the basket, but I'm gonna leave a space in between them so that the air can circulate completely around. This smells amazing already, seriously. So you can see, once again, we have, see, it's no stick. They slide, so it's kind of hard to do this. I have 4 here. So I'm setting my time for 15 minutes and I'm setting my temperature for 360. Once you have that set, if you don't do anything else, it starts and it does its thing. Let's go take a sneak peek in the oven. So I'm showing that we have 5 minutes left of cook time. Woo. I'm showing 5 minutes left of cook time. It does not look done yet, but it's not burnt either, so we're good there. And of course, I can't open up this yet. That looks very interesting. It feels kind of crispy, but for food safety reasons, I'm gonna check the internal temperature. 169, so we're definitely done there. 170, so the chicken is definitely done. I gotta be honest, the oven baked is far prettier than what I've done here in the air fryer, but let's put it to the taste test. So first, I'm gonna try the chicken tender made with the coconut flour, the coconut oil, and the flaked coconut in the air fryer versus the Carb Manager recipe made with almond flour. So now the Carb Manager, oven baked with the almond flour. I would have to say, as far as crunch and texture, the oven baked wins hands down. But the flavor is just about equal. I can't taste any more or any less coconut. But let me show you real quick what the end result looks like. These are the oven baked fillets. And you can see they've got a nice crispy texture. And these are the oven fryer that also have a nice baked texture, but just not quite as appealing visually and not quite as crunchy. So that's it. That's it. Coconut baked chicken from the Carb Manager app. It is a trustworthy recipe. This is definitely something that I would make from time to time when I'm just wanting to change things up a bit. You can tweak this to your own taste. You can serve it with whatever keto sauce you prefer. This is pretty excellent. The only negative thing about the whole process is that the protein ends up coming up so high that you really have to pick up your fat game to keep your keto macros. This is excellent for low carb, and I have decided to serve it with a half of an avocado. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I want to do more cooking videos for you. Let me know your ideas about that, and I'll see you next time I'm in the kitchen.